What happens when a 1,000-year plan goes off the rails, a robot assassin starts questioning her programming, and a psychic telepath from the future wants to destroy everything? That's right, we're talking Foundation Season 2. Welcome back to your nerdy show, where we decode the chaos of the cosmos one galactic crisis at a time. I'm your host, Spoiler Master, and today we're recapping all the shocking betrayals, mind-bending twists, and full-on Empire meltdowns from Season 2 of Apple TV Plus' Foundation. Because if you blinked, you probably missed something, or 10 things. We've got telepaths hijacking minds, emperors getting airlocked, clones questioning their souls, and a con man charming his way through hyperspace. It's political drama meets space. Opera meets... Wait, is Harry Seldon alive again? Spoiler alert. This video is packed with spoilers, psychic revelations, and enough timeline jumps to make even the Prime Radiant glitch. So if you haven't watched Season 2, hit pause, binge it, then come back. Alright, let's fire up the Whisper Ship, dodge a few memory audits, and jump straight into the insanity that was Foundation Season 2. Let's go! Hari, Gal, and the fracturing of psychohistory. We begin with Hari Seldon, not the real Hari, but the version of his consciousness embedded in the Prime Radiant. Trapped inside a strange internal world, with the help of what appears to be a manifestation of the Radiant itself, he finds a way out. Meanwhile, on the storm-racked ocean planet Synax, Gal and Salvor are still alive and trying to piece together Hari's plan. They study the Radiant and come to a disturbing conclusion. Psychohistory is veering off course. Determined to act, they repower the beggar ship and narrowly escape a planetary megastorm. But that's not the only storm brewing. Empire in crisis. The vault reopens and the mule looms. Back on Trantor, Brother Day, Cleon 17th, is nearly assassinated during a moment of intimacy with Demoiselle. He survives, but the betrayal rattles him. Suspicious of his cloned brothers Dawn and Dusk, Day begins questioning the whole foundation of the Empire. His plan? End the genetic dynasty and marry Queen Sareth of the Cloud Dominion. The problem? Sareth is no naive royal. She's cunning, skeptical, and very aware that her family's death was no accident. She probes the assassination attempt with sharp wit and barely concealed contempt for Day. Their courtship becomes a verbal chess match, while beneath the palace, secrets begin to stir. Far from the capital, the Foundation is spreading across the galaxy like a new religion. On Siwenna, High Cleric Polyverisov and his enthusiastic apprentice, Brother Constant, discover the vault has reactivated. They rush to Terminus, just as a terrifying event unfolds. The Warden is incinerated while approaching the vault. A name is left behind, Hober Mallow. Meanwhile, Gal peers 150 years into the future, using her precognition, only to witness a nightmare. A telepath named the Mule attacks her in the vision, and Salvor lies dead beside her. This chilling forecast sends Gal on a mission to locate the second Foundation, which she believes lies on the planet Ignis. General Bel Rios returns and the pieces begin to move. Demoiselle, ever the puppet master, recruits the disgraced but brilliant General Bel Rios from prison to investigate the growing threat of the Foundation. Rios, with his husband Glauenker at his side, accepts the mission and prepares to head into the outer reach. Gal, Salvor, and Hori make a stop on the desert planet Una's world. Here, Hari's consciousness is transferred into a new organic body with help from the mysterious Kala. This rebirth, however, draws attention from long-dormant mining machines that attack the group. After a dramatic escape, they leave with Hari's new physical body. Back on Coral, conman Hober Mallow steals the Eye of Coral using a teleportation trick called castling. He's caught and sentenced to death, but cheats death using the same trick and escapes aboard the ship that brought Polly and Constant. Queen Sareth and Brother Dawn start spending time together, discussing politics, trauma, and their roles in a galaxy run by clones. Their chemistry grows, while in the background, Dusk and his former lover Rue reminisce about old times. But all isn't sweet nostalgia. Dusk begins to suspect something sinister is happening inside the palace. Rios and Glawen sneak into Siwenna, gathering intel from an informant about the so-called magicians. the Foundation's seemingly supernatural agents. Meanwhile, back on Terminus, Hober, Polly, and Constant enter the vault. There, they meet Hari, who gives them separate missions. Hober must journey alone, while Polly and Constant are to initiate peace talks with the Empire, and then Gal and Salvor finally reach Ignis. Welcome to Ignis, home of the mentalics. Ignis turns out to be a haven for telepaths, or mentalics. They're led by the enigmatic and powerful Telem Bond, who welcomes Gal, Hari, and Salvor, with suspicion masked as hospitality. As Salvor explores the beach, she encounters young mentalic Josiah and begins piecing together just how deeply Telem manipulates her followers. Hari senses danger. He confronts Gal, who's being slowly lured by Telem's offer to lead the mentalics. After a tense argument, Hari appears to leave the planet, but in reality, Telem captures and imprisons him, planning to drown him in a rising tidal pool. Meanwhile, on Trantor, Sareth begins probing deeper into the Empire's darkest secrets and uncovers something horrifying. Demoiselle is not human, she's a robot. Worse, Demoiselle confirms her involvement in the murder of Sareth's family. As Hari faces death on Ignis, he's pulled into dreamlike visions of his childhood, his lost love, Yana, and the early days of psychohistory. It's an emotional, near-death experience, until he's rescued by Gal and Salvor. At the same time, Queen Sareth agrees to marry Brother Day, but secretly plots with Dawn. Sareth asks Dawn to be the one who impregnates her instead of Day, deepening the rift within the Empire's ruling trio. Elsewhere, Hober Mallow approaches the Spacers, the beings who enable the Empire's jump travel. He offers them freedom in exchange for loyalty. They refuse, and he's handed over to Rios. But once again, Hober escapes thanks to a well-timed trick and his whisper ship. The fall of Terminus and the rise of the Second Foundation. The palace is crumbling from within. Dawn and Dusk investigate memory audits and discover evidence of tampering. A hidden passageway in the Mural of Souls leads them to a secret chamber containing a holographic recording of Cleon I. The original Emperor reveals the truth. Demoiselle was once imprisoned for 5,000 years. It was Cleon himself who freed her and programmed her to serve the Empire. This discovery doesn't end well. Demoiselle locks Rue and Dusk in the chamber. Her programming won't allow rebellion. On Ignis, Telem tries to possess Gal's body using her telepathic abilities, but Salvor saves Gal just in time. As they flee to the beggar, Telem reappears and subdues them both. In the final moment, an unexpectedly alive Hari intervenes and kills Telem, ending her long reign of mind control. Back on Trantor, Brother Day announces his visit to Terminus to crush the Foundation once and for all. At the Church of Selden, Day grows enraged and declares the site a threat. He orders a full military assault, demanding the Invictus, an ancient warship, be dropped on the planet. On Rios' ship, Constant and Hober are imprisoned, but the tides are about to turn. The Empire's Spacers unknowingly follow jump coordinates that cause their own fleet to collide in space, essentially imploding the military arm of the Empire. Hober reveals it was all part of the plan. When Day tries to kill him, Rios sacrifices himself, only to outsmart Day using Hober's teleportation device, swapping places at the last second. Day is jettisoned into space, and the end of Cleon 17 is as dramatic as his rule. Aftermath, legacy, and the promise of a future. With Terminus seemingly destroyed by the falling Invictus, hope appears lost. But Hari Seldon had one last trick. The Vault rescues Constant's pod and reveals a miraculous truth. The entire population of Terminus had been safely stored inside, including Glawen, Polly, and others. The Foundation survives. On Trantor, Demoiselle kills Dusk and Rue, mourning her own actions, and immediately decants new clones of Dawn, Day, and Dusk. But these Cleons aren't the same. She activates the Prime Radiant gifted by Hari, meaning she's now continuing Seldon's plan on her terms. Back on Ignis, Salvor uncovers one final horror. Tellum had planted her psyche in young Josiah, who attempts to assassinate Gal. Salvor sacrifices herself to save her mother, confirming Gal's belief that the future can change. Her death becomes a symbol of choice. In the closing moments, Gal and Hari decide to enter cryosleep, waking once per year to teach and guide the Second Foundation as it grows. The mule is coming. 152 years later, a terrifying vision comes true. The mule, telepath, tyrant, and terror of the galaxy, becomes aware of Gal's presence. A storm is coming, but now the Second Foundation is ready, and that's the end of Foundation Season 2. Betrayals, mind-bending science, empire collapses, telepathic horror, and a hope for something new. If Season 1 was the beginning of the fall, Season 2 is the violent fracture before rebirth. And in Season 3, we're looking at full-on war between the remnants of the old empire, the rising foundations, and the psychic apocalypse waiting just around the corner. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Nerdy Show so you don't miss our Season 3 theories and episode-by-episode breakdowns. And remember, history may repeat itself, but psychohistory never lies.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.